Mr. Lamborn, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Excuse me for 1 second. I just got in from the
Okay.
Doing
Let me just
media call.
get your breath. Mr. DeSantis, you're recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Great to be here. I'm discussing a great bill, H.R. 4764, the PAWS Act, Puppies Assisting Wounded Servicemembers. And what it seeks to do is harness the use of specially trained service dogs to treat veterans who are suffering from post-traumatic stress. And I first became interested in the issue of post-traumatic stress just when I was serving in Iraq back in 2007, and I noticed the number of people who were over there, particularly Marines and soldiers, who had done multiple deployments. You had guys in their mid-20s who had been in Iraq more than they had been in the United States since they got out of boot camp. And the idea of PTS became something that more and more people were taking seriously, a lot of efforts out there, but that takes a toll when you're doing those types of deployments. And then it just so happened when I got elected to Congress, I have an organization in my district called Canines for Warriors, and what they do is they pair veterans with specially trained service dogs. They have a campus that's now expanded. It's a great facility. They have a great track record of reducing dependence on opioids, reducing the suicide rate, and really getting veterans back on their feet. And so I thought that this was a great organization. It was something that I was very supportive of just personally. But then I met a veteran, a former Marine named Cole Lyle, who came to Congress telling his story about his battles with post-traumatic stress and how he really was in the dumps after going to the VA, being given counseling, prescribed a bunch of different medications, and he was really looking for answers. And it just so happened that his family had enough money to get him a service dog, and he quit the drugs cold turkey, really turned his life around, and is doing a great job right now. And so this is a Marine who had served in Afghanistan under very difficult circumstances, comes back to the United States, has these problems, and really the service dog has been a boon for him, and he's one of the leaders in arguing for this legislation. Now, this Congress had the VA conduct a study about whether service dogs could be a part of treating PTS. Back in 2010, the study was supposed to be done in 2013. It's been riddled with all types of problems, and so we don't have any results yet. They say 2018, but I think if history is a guide, it likely will not happen by then. And so that's been a major failure on the part of the VA. And so our bill, the PAWS Act, takes these veterans, particularly the ones that have severe post-traumatic stress, and authorizes a small amount of funding so that the VA can pair them with specially trained service dogs. So they would be going to organizations who do this for a living, like Canines for Warriors, pairing the veteran. We earmark about $27,000 per dog, but the good thing is as these organizations become more robust, they're actually able to train them for less now. And so that's exciting because I think that that's going to be good bang for the buck. And we are seeing, in addition to the anecdotal evidence, some initial scientific evidence about people who have these symptoms, who get a specially trained service dog that understands the symptoms, that can help help the veteran deal with certain situations. We see a decline in opioid use. We see a decline in suicide. And I think that's obviously good for the veteran. It's also good for taxpayers if the veteran doesn't need to be on drugs. This has strong support from key veterans groups like the VFW and the American Legion. It also has very strong bipartisan support, which I'm very proud to say and bring before the committee. So we have a situation in our country where 22 veterans commit suicide every day. That is something that I know everyone in this room is concerned about, and we want to do everything we can to reduce that or eliminate that. The PAWS Act, I think, is one way, one tool where we can strike at this problem. I believe that if we pass this bill and get it up and running, I think it will save lives. Part of it is from the study I've done and how we've done the bill, but part of it's also practical. I've actually had veterans come up to me who have PTS, who were paired with service dogs, tell me if they did not get the service dog when they did, they probably would have committed suicide. So that is very powerful testimony, and I'm great to be able to talk about the bill. And Mr. Chairman, I thank you for giving me the opportunity. I yield back.
Thank you very much.